Hello everyone, welcome back to a new episode of Mythic Ocean. Last time we left off, we finished up basically everything we had to do in the world, talking to Gnosis and finding out a bit more about his memories. We, however, did not give him any more because I'm kind of scared that Gnosis might be the god that's in the pages that we're talking about, so he might want those pages for some bad things. So, we're just going to go ahead and talk to LL now and choose our god. Hey, how goes it? Looking at chat. So Gnosis offered me a deal to tell me secrets about who I am. Yeah, that's what Gnosis likes to do. Important knowledge is rarely free, you know. Don't you know who I am too? Couldn't you tell me? Heh, okay buddy, I see what this is all about. I'll give you two simple answers. Yes, I know who you are, and no, I will not be the one to tell you. Why not? Because you told me not to, ages and ages ago. I've forgotten half of what I ever knew back then, but that I've always remembered. And I've always honored it. Why would I have said that? I don't know. It was never totally clear to me. I think maybe you felt like it spoiled the whole arrangement somehow. Anyway, Gnosis has made no such agreement with you. So if you really want to know, take it up with them. But can I really trust Gnosis? I can't make that choice for you, buddy. I'll tell you this much though. What Gnosis tells you will all be the truth. They don't peddle lies, their information is all legit. And remember what you're giving them in return. You know the pages make Gnosis more powerful. Might have an impact on how things turn out for the new world, yeah? Anyway, that's all I got, buddy. The rest is up to you, so just as I thought. So how do we start to... Let's talk about the crown. Sure thing, got any questions? Can you remind me how it works? I've decided I want you to make the crown. Yeah, let's go over it again. If you give me at least 10 pages, I'll use their power to make the crown. At the end of your journey here, you can give the crown to whichever god you want. That god will then be more likely to become the creator. You can bring me more than 10 pages too. The more we use, the stronger the effect. First things first, you gotta decide how many pages to use. There's 3 tiers to the crown, each one more effective for the bronze. Once the crown exists, you can always upgrade it with more pages later, so don't worry. Alright, looks like you've got 12. How many you want to use for the crown? Let's use 10. Bronze tier then, sounds good. Now don't forget, there's other uses for the pages out there. So make sure you're okay with that before we get started. Still up for it? Nah, no problem. Give it some more thought. I don't really think I need it, because I'm pretty sure Alethea is like 100% going to be the god. I mean, it was Lutra for a bit, but we kinda didn't talk to Lutra anymore after we finished out their whole thing with wanting to eat the world. Or the kelp forest. So how do we start the new world? All you gotta do is pick up the gift. It'll be the end of your time here once we kick things off, so make sure you tie up all your loose ends first. I don't like seeing you from this angle, it's weird and it's different. I'm ready. Gift of creation. Alright, let's see what ending we get. Well, guess this is it then. I'm always excited to see what happens with a new world, but it also means we won't see each other for a while. Thanks for stopping by so much this time, buddy. It was good reflecting on things with you. But for now, it's time for us to part ways. I understand. Until next time, LL. Don't be a stranger, buddy. I'll be waiting here for you whenever you decide to give this another go. You won't remember me, but I'll get you caught back up. What an interesting arrangement. That must be rough for him though, for like his friends to forget him every single time. Alright, that's enough talking, I guess. Let's get this show on the road. Alright, Alethea. What kind of world are you going to create? Whoa, up we go. Into... okay, so... It's showing Alethea, does that mean it's Alethea? For a time, I continued to feel myself rising towards the heavens. So you were the one writing the pages. Eventually I came to a stop, and the blinding light around me slowly faded away. Somehow, I was suspended among the stars. In that silent void, I began to recall the full extent of my role in the cycle. In the ocean, it was my task to advise the gods and help determine the next creator. But once the new world was born, I would become the historian. Eternal observer and record keeper of every mortal age, I realized then that the book in the Library of Antiquity was written by me to preserve the history of a past era. Soon I would be starting a new book and filling its pages with all the events to come. I could sense that the gift of creation was ready to move forward. But was I? I wished I could speak with them one last time, and to my surprise, the portal opened before me. Oh wow, we got some cool little art for Amar. I smiled as Amar's familiar face appeared on the other side of the gateway. Whoa, what's going on, friend? I'm not sure how you're doing this, but good to see you. Something strange is going on. Is this the end of the world? I told Amar they were basically correct. But a new world would be taking this one's place, and soon everyone would be chosen. Someone would be chosen to create it. Huh, well, I sure hope it isn't me. Creating a world sounds like tons of work, and you know how I feel about that. Anyway, we're gonna hang out sometime in this new world? I said I certainly hope so. Yeah, me too, friend. Suddenly the view within the portal shifted, and Ketri and Esti appeared. New friend, we were wondering what happened to you. I assured them I was alright, and filled them in on the new world about to be born. Then I asked what they planned to do once it was created. Well, whatever the new world's like, we want to help make it even better. We want people to get along and take good care of each other, so we'll try and show them how. I told them I was glad they'd set such a goal for themselves, and wished them well. Thanks, new friend. See you around. Next, a new image began to appear, and for a moment, I didn't understand what I was seeing. It dawned on me that I was looking at Lutra, who had become a huge and majestic moth-like creature. Wow, you do look badass, Lutra. I asked how it felt to have undergone such a drastic change. I wonder if the reason I didn't get to follow up with Lutra anymore is that I never actually went to go check on them? But it didn't give me a notification that anything had happened, so maybe not. This one feels new. Memories of this one not clear. Hunger thoughts very strong. Thoughts of others like this one also strong. This one has much to do. Before I could respond, Lutra took flight and was gone, leaving me to ponder what its plans might be. There didn't seem to be any sign of Gnosis at all. I reached out to them with my thoughts, but there was no response. At that point, only Alethea remained, and somehow I knew this meant she'd been chosen as the creator. Sure enough, Alethea appeared a moment later, adjusting her goggles and looking thoughtful. Oh, well, hello. You can open portals too? Were you able to do this all along? I explained that I wasn't sure where the portal had come from either. Perhaps I'd created it unconsciously, or maybe it was under the control of someone or something else. I see, but more importantly, what is happening to the ocean right now? All the creatures are vanishing, and there's an odd bright light coming from the sky. I told Alethea that a new world would soon be taking this one's place, and she was the one who'd be creating it. I placed the gift of creation in front of me, and it passed through the portal to reach Alethea. So, I worked all my life to find a way out of the ocean, and it turns out this is how it was always fated to end? I won't ask if this is something you always knew. I fear I wouldn't like the answer. But no matter. The power you've given me will allow me to make something new. I don't like the look on your face right now. Something better. Thank you. I'll put it to good use. I asked if Alethea had any thoughts on what kind of world she'd be making. There is nothing you can't accomplish with technology, my friend. You can bet the people of my world will understand that. I want them to go as far as they possibly can with science on their side. I want to see them explore the far reaches of their cosmos. Beyond that, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, that sounds nice. How far technology can take it, so that has me thinking of like Sybil systems from like Psychopaths and things like that, where eventually everyone is a collective subconscious that put their brain into this giant pool of brains and humanity as a one acts together. Or she could just mean we go to the point where everybody has prosthetics or robo-bodies and then we explore space. So, we'll see. Guess it depends on when the new world that she creates actually gets reset. So, I explained I'd be there to write the events of history, and she could always talk to me about how things were going if she wished. Sounds good to me. I appreciate that. See you on the other side, then. I am kind of... If I had a second choice, like if there was someone else I could have picked, I don't think the crown really would have made a difference, and I was pretty happy with my choice for Alethea. I think Ketri and Esti probably would have been my next choices, because like I mentioned, they do seem like they would be good creators now. So, my head was swimming with possibilities for how the new world might turn out. But of course the decisions were all up to Alethea now, not me. So I gathered my things and prepared to record what happened. Using the gift of creation, Alethea brought the new world forth from nothingness. Hey, flying cars and everything. The mortals of this world developed a passion for the sciences. Soon they were expanding their cities on a massive scale and filling them with industrial wonders. But rather than placing any rules or regulations on their technologies, they let corporations do as they please and imposed no limits. Eek. I don't know how I feel about that. Thick pollution blocked out the sun on most days. The dim city streets were illuminated only by the glow of street lamps and garish advertisements. Okay, so we have a industrious, polluted world. Makes sense with the technology, and the no regulation on corporations. I mean, come on, Alethea. Regulate your corporations. Wealthier mortals lived in skyscrapers towering above the clouds, doing their best to avoid contact with the smog-choked realm below. Before long, the planet was barely habitable and the mortals' natural resources were mostly depleted. The people began to cast their gaze towards the stars, hoping for a fresh start elsewhere. Though Alethea took pride in the mortals' ambition, she also worried about their future. She considered intervening to help them, but decided it would be best to let them forge their own path. They've accomplished amazing things in such a short time, she mused. I trust them to find a big breakthrough that will help them survive. The mortals mastered space travel next and built orbiting colonies near other planets in their solar system. The cities aboard their space stations produced just as much waste as their earthbound settlements. In time, they had drained these new planets of their resources as well. Could their way of life remain sustainable forever? I don't know how much longer these oceans and jungles are gonna last. I better set some aside before they're all gone. Amar was concerned, but didn't take a stance against Alethea's governance. Instead, they selected a small planet and created a nature reserve on its surface. This refuge was dedicated to non-stop parties and revelry, open to anyone who wished to partake. Oh, that's nice. I mean, it sucks that they had to do that in the first place. But it's nice that there is at least a reserve for it. And Amar seems happy. In the far reaches of space, Lutra had given birth to thousands of offspring. Driven by their limitless hunger, the moth-like creatures stripped many planets bare of vegetation. They understood they would not be opposed by Alethea and the mortals, so they were pleased. These ones hunger always. Freedom to devour is appreciated. Hope they didn't devour the nature reserve. But Ketri and Esti were opposed to Alethea's hands-off approach. The mortals need our help, they said. If they keep living like this, pretty soon there's going to be no planets left to live on. Yeah, that's true. So they decided to convince Alethea to manage her world differently. Ketri and Esti gained an audience with Alethea and presented their case. Alethea, the mortals are going to keep ruining their worlds like this, unless we help them come up with rules for everyone to follow. Alethea considered what they had to say and conferred with her supporters. But in the end, Alethea couldn't be convinced. Yeah, maybe Ketri and Esti were the best option. I mean, not to say that if they had ruled, it would have been any better. I'm sure there were shortcomings with them too. And she decided things would stay the way they were. As for Gnosis, although they wished to seize the gift of creation and shape reality to their liking, all their data indicated such an uprising would not succeed. So Gnosis remained hidden in the depths, biding their time and waiting for the perfect opportunity. With Alethea maintaining control, the mortal society continued its technological progress at breakneck speeds. Intergalactic space travel became a reality, but with so few regulations in place, people were free to satisfy their greed and exploit whoever and whatever they wanted. Corporations ran rampant, and planet after planet buckled under the stress of their civilization. This is definitely what I was worried about with choosing Alethea, that her technology would allow for some terrible, terrible things to happen, but I guess part of me was hoping that the technology would eventually reach a point where it was utopic. But it seems like it's not. It seems like they're just going to keep destroying planet after planet after planet as they go around. That's a shame. Like I said though, Ketri and Esty would have been my next choice, but I don't really know if they would have done any better. Like maybe they would have had too many rules. Maybe they would have ended up turning out like their parents. I don't know. I'm obviously not completely happy with Alethea's choices here and the fact that she just lets people do whatever they want, because I imagine in a world like this, corporations rule everything. I mean, it says they run rampant, so I imagine they rule everything and there's not much to be garnered from this existence for the little man. Alethea wondered if there might have been a better way. But in the end, she was pleased. They had found a way to survive. And so the mortals will live, a trail of dead and dying worlds in their wake, until the cycle begins anew. I mean, I guess if we're gonna redo the cycle, the fact that the worlds are dying isn't a big deal. Like, if the worlds are dying, sure, but it's not like you're permanently destroying the worlds, because the cycle is going to begin anew at some point, so there will be chances for other people. So they are destroying worlds, but it's not the biggest deal, and they did manage to survive, so not the best ending, I feel, but still not a bad one. I think if we had let Gnosis have all the pages of power, that probably would have been a bad end, because he seemed to be the subject of the pages themselves. So I'm happy with that. I'm not sure about Amar, if I had let Amar be the god. Obviously, I think Lutra would have been awful, because evidently they never get over their hunger. But Amar, I'm not sure. My logic with Amar was Amar wouldn't like being the creator. But possibly all Amar would have done was just made sure that the world was respected and no planets were destroyed. He might have been like the ecological creator that just respected planets and everything. But he might have also had a hands-off approach, like Alethea did, which could have caused some problems. I'm not sure. Note, Epilogue Megacorp can be rewatched from the Epilogue viewer on the main menu. When you start a new game on this save file, all illustrations you have collected throughout the playthrough will still be available. Alright, well, so as I was saying, Amar, I think he would have been like the ecological god. Would have protected everything and probably had a pretty hands-off approach, and everybody would have just gotten drunk and been merry, but that could have had its own problems as well, and who's to say Amar just wouldn't have buckled under the stress and responsibility of being a creator like that. As he said when I spoke to him in the epilogue, he didn't want it, it seems. So that's fine. I think Ketri and Esty possibly could have been the best ending. I don't know, but I'm not going to do every single ending for every single character, as I will leave that to anybody that may have watched this and wants to see it themselves. We have seen the Alethea ending. I'm not really sure how I could have done things differently. I guess talk to Alethea less, because it felt like there were just so many more opportunities for her to be happy with me than anyone else. Like, that was very much Lutra at the beginning, but maybe it was because of the way I treated Lutra and Ketri and Esty and Amar that I didn't have as many opportunities with them, where I was doing all sorts of things with Alethea, and I was always making her happy. So maybe that just kind of put me down one path, and that might possibly be the reason for the crown as well. If you kind of get pushed down one path with one particular god, but you want another one to be the creator. So, but I only had enough for the bronze crown, and I don't think that would have swayed it in Ketri and Esty's favor enough. So it'd be a neat little experiment to do, I suppose. But yeah, I think I'll leave any subsequent playthroughs to the people that watch this playthrough. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoy the game yourself, as there's still a lot to see, and it's a fantastic game. The art is beautiful, the music was fantastic. I really did like a lot of the characters. It was really fun, just kind of swimming around, talking to everybody. Gnosis is still creepy. His underwater death pit is still creepy. I do not like the deep ocean. It terrifies me. Never make me go to the deep ocean ever again. But yeah, this was a really, really fun game. If anyone watched this and wanted to know if I've done any other games similar to this on my channel, I do have a playthrough called Lost Ember. That is in a similar vein to this. It's not underwater, but it's an adventure game and is very much the same kind of scope and everything as this. So if you're interested in more like this, maybe give that a shot. But I think this is going to be it for Mythic Ocean. I hope you have enjoyed, and I will see you next time.